Social structure and life in Greece. The ancient Greeks were wealthy people. Many of their tools and ideas were advanced. However, life wasn't perfect for all Greeks. For the most part, only men had powerful jobs. They were independent. Women and strangers had very few rights. Slaves had even less rights. Women did not have much of a chance for freedom, but slaves and lower class people did. They could have better lives if they worked hard enough. Differences with men and women in Greece started early. Boys could go to school, girls could not. Boys started school at an early age. They went to elementary school. Then they went to secondary school. The boys learned to read, write, and do math. Athletics were also taught. The Greeks valued strength. They wanted their men to be strong. Young Greek girls usually stayed home. They were taught household skills. This would prepare them to work at home in the future. Fast fact: boys from poor families could not pay for school. They were taught to do the work their fathers did. Fast fact: in Sparta, young men had to pass a test before joining the army. Everywhere else in Greece, all free men had to join the army. Men worked at other jobs when they were not on duty. Education in Greece was for young men. Marriage in Greece was the same way. The father and the husband-to-be often planned it. Many girls didn't have a say about who they would marry. They usually married when they were between 13 and 16 years old. The men married when they were between 25 and 30 years old. The bride's father gave money to the husband-to-be. The money was called a dowry. It was how the father thanked the husband for marrying his daughter. Marriage was a source of pride for Greeks. Family lines were important to them. Fathers paid a lot of money to the men who married their daughters. After marriage, women focused on having children. Then they focused on raising their children. A woman's main role was to be a wife and mother. They had very few other rights. Usually, they left the house for important events. Fast fact: women could not vote or own land. Social classes were important to the Greeks. A man's job decided which social class he was in. Women were in the same social class as their husbands. It was the same for children and their fathers. There were 4 social classes in ancient Greece. The upper class was the smallest group. Upper class people were rich. They owned slaves. They usually worked in the government or military. The middle class were farmers and merchants. Tradesmen and skilled workers were also in this class. People in the lower class did unskilled work. They usually did not own land. At the bottom of society were the slaves. They had no rights at all. They were not paid for their work. Fast fact: slaves were usually captured during war. And then if you go on to page 3, this is where your questions are. Okay, so it says answer these questions after you read the passage. Remember to begin your answer by restating part of the question. Use direct evidence from the text and explain your thinking. So question 1, according to the first paragraph of the text, why was life in Greece not perfect for all people? Question number 2, describe the typical education of a young Greek boy in ancient Greece. Question number 3, explain how marriage relationships were formed in ancient Greece. Question 4, describe the role women played and the rights they had in ancient Greece. And question 5, list the different social classes that existed in ancient Greece. So remember, you are answering those questions based on the reading on page 2. Rewind this and listen to it as many times as you need to help you comprehend what you are reading.